Yeah, now stand and cheer for your Basketball Weekly.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Basketball Weekly, Talking Basketball Podcast. I am Mark.
I am Paul. Hello.
Hello. Well, as we've wrapped up the BBL,
Coming to a climax.
the seasons are coming to a climax. I think we've got to talk firstly, briefly about the EuroLeague. We have to talk about that. And I know we're going to do a full show on that. And we're going to get George back on because we have had the final.
Yes, he said he would come on as well, which is good.
But I think George will be quite happy with the result.
He'll be extremely happy with the result.
Extremely happy with the result.
Emphatic win.
Yeah.
Pow
absolutely dominated that. It was a brilliant game as well. I will say this, it was quite difficult to watch the game because if you're not in, basically if you don't pay for the pass through the EuroLeague.
Oh, it was painful. Look, I'll be honest, I was looking on every bloody channel you could think of. American channels, Greek channels.
Yeah. I found one.
Turkish channels, you usually find something on there. You couldn't find anything.
You couldn't, and I found one where they were showing like a graphic of what was happening. So someone was like animating a graphic, and then these two guys were obviously watching the game, and then you were watching their reactions. And I thought, I can see where this was going, but no, everyone just wants to watch the game. So you're just seeing that clip of them.
That's the crowd.
Yeah. It was mental.
I mean, and that's the quiet part.
There's a brilliant clip of a little kid, and he's doing a little clap. I don't know if you saw it, and they got the cameras on him, and he's standing in front of the crowd, egging the crowd on, and they were going through the whole chant and everything. It just, it is a football crowd, like you said before.
One of my challenges, I get so many messages.
Oh, look how much they're popular.
That I struggle to keep up with where the stuff is. So there's a great one I've got of the crowd.
Yeah.
And it was the PAL supporters when they were, I want to say 10 down. They were going nuts. And I thought, wow, what fantastic support they've had. But I can't remember who sent it to me. But what an atmosphere.
Panathinaikos BC. What a complete victory. And considering that they've just got a new coach.
No, I can't find it.
It was this season that they got the new coach. The team got rejuvenated. And to go from almost like the bottom to go right to the very top and win that was in like a 1 year complete full sweep turnaround. That's a great story.
It is, and
I think we're going to expand on it. George going to come in. We're going to expand on that because there's a whole story in that whole turning around thing. But it was just a brilliant game. I just want to highlight it because that was, we've watched some good basketball in the NBA recently in the playoffs. We also saw some good basketball in the BBL playoffs. And sure enough, as soon as it comes to these finals and these playoffs, it's like all of the energy just increases. And the crowds, they just get behind everything that's going on. And that makes the difference for me.
Yep. Yeah. So, George, I have spoken to him. He will come on. So, probably our guest for next week.
For a week, yeah.
Though I do have someone else who may be coming in. Potentially, Mark. Potential. But I'll keep you posted on that. Oh, no, hang on. Next week, we got Dale.
Yeah.
Oh, we got an Australian coming in from the Adelaide 36ers.
Gonna throw another shrimp on the barbie.
He won't say that. But, yeah, he is. He's next week. Is he? Or are you going to do George first?
No, he's next week.
There's going to be a couple all around the same time.
We've got a few people coming on. He's going to be wrestling a crocodile and fighting a wallaby at the same time whilst hugging a koala.
Wow.
Well, that was his plan anyway.
Well, I just as a guide of what some of the things we can talk about with Dale, just as an example, because I think this is mental.
Crocodile wrestling.
The Australian top basketball division is now finished.
Yep.
And those players are now playing down the leagues.
They go into like local league stuff.
Well, it's still National League, but it's not. It's like BBL finishing, and then they go and playing for the NBL Div 1 teams. So I was like, hang on, that guy, he's got the same name. He really looks like him. Like, what's going on? He's like, yeah. Did you know that they all go down and filter through some of the teams, and then they come back for when the actual National League starts again?
It's like, don't worry, fellas. When it comes to a playoff push, we'll be sorted because all the teams just suddenly gets bolstered.
It's like, wow, I didn't realise that. So yeah, right. American basketball, Mark.
Let's get on with the NBA.
Can I just say one thing?
Yep.
I don't know if I like it or I don't like it. I got this picture. So,
oh god,
the championship trophy has changed.
Yeah.
The base has changed. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's always been square and it's now this big circle.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it. It feels like it would be better to lift up.
What I don't like is exactly what you're showing there. They're just wheeling out a load of plate. They're putting the, oh, look at this. It's at the Formula One Grand Prix. Oh, look at this. We got some random, I mean, there's Hemsworth there holding it and stuff. You go, why? Why are you trying to, and I know it's just to create marketing and get sort of stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I think it's sort of, you don't, no one
Do you like
gets,
the trophy though? Do you like the new base?
No, it's too over the top.
Or would you prefer the circle or the square? Like it's always been that square, and now the square is a circle.
I'm going to be controversial. I think the BBL trophy looks classier than that actually, because it's just because it's more like a World Cup. It's like a very simple, symbolic thing. That's too tacky now. That base.
I think they've done it so it looks better
as they hold
up.
it.
Yeah. But the EuroLeague, that is a very good one. That's a very good trophy.
Yeah, that EuroLeague was a great trophy.
So there you go. Yeah, that was a bit of basketball news, Mark. Trophies.
It's on walkabouts. It's gone.
What would you say? The what's the word? Orthetics? No,
aesthetics
has changed a little bit.
I'm just not a fan. I think there's something that they haven't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just it cheapens it a little bit. You know, when you see those players and they get those trophies that are as big as the person, and they come out and they're like, "Yeah, I'm the winner."
I think isn't a Stanley Cup's the classic, the hockey where it's like
gigantic. Yeah. And then look, Wimbledon has that giant plate, and then the other person gets the thingy. But then look at the cricket; they have the Ashes, which is like it's like a matchbox, and it's a tiny little thing.
I don't know if our international listeners are aware of this. I don't know if the UK, maybe, I'm sure we would, it's football related, but the World Cup in particular, they're really picky about who can touch it. So the actual World Cup, what's it called? Not the Jules Rimet, that's the old one, but the actual, the World Cup.
Was that the one that got lost?
That's the one that, the dog, I think the dog found. Yeah,
when
it came to the UK, someone nicked it.
Yeah.
And the dog found it. But apparently, only a champion of the World Cup can touch the World Cup. Brilliant. And I know a few people in media around the football industry, and they see it and they never get near it.
No.
To have their picture with it. Good. And it's like, oh, right. So that's why it was really controversial. And that bloody chef, Bao chef with this salt in the elbow. Salt Bay, he's doing that, holding the trophy, saying, can you have my picture of it? And Messi's looking like, hang on, this is my moment, sunshine. And so that's why it's quite controversial, because they're looking like, how is that guy on the pitch? How is he touching the trophy? Yeah. But anyway,
why didn't someone shoot him in the head?
I like the idea about what you're saying like that, but I like that idea because it makes it really special. You touch it,
you got to earn the right to touch it.
Yeah. I like that idea.
You got to earn the right. That's what I mean. Like parading it around, you go, oh look, the trophies. And now look, we've done that whole trophy thing. I think, wasn't it when Pompey won the FA Cup or something like that? They have a little thing.
They always do that. Yeah.
Now I get that with certain trophies. I get that. If you're talking about this is the number one thing you're going to get, the most prestigious cup there is, they don't do that with the Wimbledon trophy, do they? Hey, let's rock it up to that, and anyone can get a photo of that. I don't really think they do. Like, do you want to go and hold the trophy and have a little picture with it? And yet they'll wheel someone out for the NBA one. You go, I don't know.
Yeah, if you win I don't know the answer to this. If you win the NBA trophy, do you get your own version of that trophy?
So I don't get this because I've seen, I can't remember who it was, and it was one of the ones, and they were talking with Shaq, and
Shaq's goes to,
and it has the trophies in the background, and you go, are they just fake ones that they've made up and they put in the back?
I think
because then they have MVPs, which you do keep, obviously.
Yeah, no. So I watched a documentary with Shaq talking. It was one about the Lakers.
Yeah.
And it was going through the whole. I think it was to do with Jerry Buss or something like that. And it got to the point where Shaq gets the Lakers, and he goes to out in like the woods, out in the middle of nowhere to meet Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
And Phil Jackson says, at one point, like, can you go in that river and get that log out for me? And Shaq's like, this is a test. Yeah, sure, no worries, I'll go get it. And he then comes in the house to dry his off, and he says, the towel's in that room there. And he goes in the towel and he pulls back and he just sees 5, is it 5? Maybe 6 NBA championship trophies.
Yeah.
And that's when I thought, hang on, are they replicas? Do they make replicas, or does every player get one? If you won one, you would want that, wouldn't you?
You'd want something. You damn well want something. I'd imagine there's like a main one, and then the one.
Here's
that
12
won.
For everyone else.
Yeah, they've got to have something like that. I mean, the amount of money they make, even if it costs them $5,000 to make each one, they're only making it for like 15 people on a team. It's not that big a deal, is it?
I wonder if they all get it or not. Anyway, right. Well, talking of the championship trophy.
Yeah.
We spent 10 minutes talking about trophies there.
That's good though.
Yeah.
I think it's important because that's what you're playing for, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's ultimately what they every basketball player, every NBA player wants that picture like they've got with Kobe, where he sat with that trophy for a second, or the picture of Michael where he's holding that trophy. Everyone wants that picture, don't they?
No, they don't. Not with the new MVP trophy, they don't.
No, not that.
Why did they change that?
Yeah.
I've said this before, that was one of the best trophies, the old-fashioned, I don't know who, it was clearly a player, I don't know what player it was, but, he's kind of, his knees up and he's kind of holding the ball out in front of him. And it's got a huge, base, hasn't it, where the player is standing on. And it's probably as big as a torso, I want to say, that trophy altogether. Prior
to 2021, the winner received the Morris Podoloff Trophy, which was named in honor of the first commissioner, who was the president of the NBA.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that I think is my favorite basketball trophy of all time. And I get it. Jordan's amazing, but the trophy is one of the worst trophy. The current MVP, you got it there. That's awful.
Yeah.
It's not even at the same level. No. And it goes back to this thing I said, and you went, hang on, why are we talking about art? Art nowadays is utter dreadful, isn't it?
Along with your English.
Well,
it's utter dreadful.
Well, I was trying to not swear there. I was about to swear, but then I thought, better not.
It's utter.
It's a load of bollocks, Mark, isn't it?
It's utter shit. That's what it is.
And
there's no way around it. It's terrible.
Someone basically vomits on a canvas and goes, look, this is my creation. I call it my insides.
See that? Like that's like an MVP trophy.
Yeah.
That people have had in the past, and you go, it's a little bit over the top, but I respect.
But look, that Jordan trophy to me goes along with all modern art. It's all in the same thing.
It looks more like someone doing interpretive ballet, and they're holding up, those ones where they hold the ball and they do that stuff where they dance, and that's what it looks like.
But see what I mean?
I've never seen Michael Jordan do that pose ever on a basketball court.
I want detail. Like if I was going to get a sculpture of something, I want detail. Like when you go to like Rome and you see these statues and Michelangelo, Donatello, and it's so much detail and it is masterpieces. You look at art nowadays and you go, it just looks like you can't be asked, or you're not as talented. I don't mean have a go, but that's just my feeling on it. And then when you see someone who does do something like they were producing 1,000 years ago, you think, wow, that is a masterpiece. That Jordan trophy is awful.
It's not an MVP. Like, I don't know any MVP who's pulled that pose though either. Like, that's not. If someone said that's indicative of MJ, you go, no, it's not.
But they probably couldn't do the one that they would be because of
they can't do the Jordan brand one for an obvious reason. But at the same time, there's just
you can't be. Who did you say? What was it called again? That guy.
Morris Podoloff. That's what the trophy was called.
That MVP trophy.
The MVP trophy.
Personally, I think is the best basketball trophy.
And that was the first commissioner and president of the NBA who served from 1946 to
That's
1963.
Good, isn't it? That's good.
Yeah, but I do you know what else about it? And this is the I want to say the trigger warning. But the other thing that's really cool.
Do we need a snowflake warning?
Yeah,
I think we've passed
snowflakes. That is about nondescript a player as you could ever get.
Yeah,
like there is no nationality, There is no ethnicity. There's nothing associated to that player whatsoever. And you go, surely that should be the way if you want to do it these days.
He does look like a 50s player, but that's what I like about it. It says history. It says legacy to me.
Surely you want to keep the tradition in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But there's a lot of things that they do. I read a few articles, actually, that was about... We'll get onto that in our interview later we've got with someone, but you have to listen to our other podcast to find out who it was. But yeah, some interesting stuff about sports dropping. Specifically after COVID and stuff, and how the last 10 years sports, because of TV, has dropped slowly because people don't watch TV in the same way they used to. So live sports in particular has got really, really hit. I think the NBA lost almost 30% of their viewership.
Well, I think
over the last
overall
10 years.
It's gone up. If you listen to them really carefully, they say, international listeners have never been higher. But it's like, well, your local market, it's
because they're able to capture those ones there. But they're like you said, their local market is dropped off the planet. Americans don't give a monkeys. And in particular, that when they look at anyone who's under our age range, when you're looking at the 30 down, the gen, whatever they decide to call it, this thing, they really are hammering because they're saying they don't watch TV. They don't watch Sky or Virgin or whatever it is you have a cable or whatever it is you have in your country. They don't watch it. They get NBA League Pass. Or if they don't, they just watch it on YouTube. So they don't. There's no way of them knowing. So a lot of these figures that the NBA come up with are what's on our socials mixed with what's on YouTube, mixed with what's on the League Pass, and they add it all together. It's kind of, I've got 25,000 million streams on Spotify. So what? Do you make any money from it? No. Okay, then what was the point?
I was tempted in being a bit controversial and saying something then, but I'm not.
Why not?
Because it will definitely upset.
Do it.
No, I'm not going to get into it. It wouldn't. It'd be too much drama. But it was talking about why the national figures for the NBA could have gone down.
Oh, I'd imagine because of the associations that they have with all the various people and who they speak with and all that sort of stuff. And
yeah, I wasn't going to get into it. I was tiptoeing around the tulips there. But it's just one of the great things about basketball is it unites everyone on the court, doesn't it?
Until it doesn't.
Until other things come in, and it's like, let's say at the moment we got a general election coming up. You say you're going to be one party, I'll be another party. As soon as that comes in on the basketball court, it's like, well, you then have separation.
Yeah, there's no need for it.
So
no need for it at all. Well, it's just, the one thing about sports, when you look at, I was thinking about this the other day when I was talking about the wall and the Clippers, what they're doing there. All of these are essentially the modern Colosseum, like in the Roman days. That's what the sports with the NBA. If you think
without the beauty, because we've just established the current art is atrocious.
But exactly. So we don't have the current art. It's pretty atrocious in that. But we do have it's a Colosseum. What do they want? They want bums on seats. They want people making noise, cheering. They want a crowd. They want to have that interactive motion where they say, we've got another thing. Come to the masses. You all come in, congregate in one place. It's exactly the same as they have in Colosseums. And there's some sort of good versus evil battle, ultimately the home team versus the away team, etc., etc. That's what they're trying to do with all of these things.
Can I just ask our listeners?
But society doesn't like that now. That's where the whole thing with why sport they're saying, and there's some actual, there's no secret that you and I are doing, some university stuff at the moment. I was looking at actual papers that people have done research on to do with sport declining, and a lot of it's to do with the mentality of combat and having one person defeating another person. Instead, everyone wants to be, everyone's a winner. Let's have a participation award rather than just first, second and third. Let's celebrate seventh.
It's not.
Why?
It's not what life is about, though, is it?
Exactly. It's all about fairness, ultimately. And you go, unfortunately, this world isn't fair. Nothing in nature is fair.
Well, that is a great segue. Fairness going on to the conference finals, Mark.
Like that.
But can I just say one thing, a message to our listeners? If you do have any art which you would like to share with us, please send it to ukbasketballpodcast at gmail.com.
I don't want any art. No
And we can verify if it is
as atrocious as you
masterpiece level. Send pictures.
I will be nothing but non-reserved. I will give you my full opinion of how garbage, and even if you send something in that your kid's just drawn and said, my 4-year-old's just done this, it's like, I can see that.
I can see that. Yeah. Right. Cool. So, conference finals.
Yep.
Look at your little smug face over there. Look at his little smug face.
Let's do the greenies first. Let's get them out of the way.
The Celtics are through. Let's give a huge shout out to the Boston Celtics for reaching the NBA Finals.
Sweep.
With a sweep.
I mean, I'm
going to give the assists to a few referees there.
There was definitely a few assists from the referees. What I think what's funny is in the last game, there were some flagrant fouls that weren't called from Indiana's point of view. And they actually caused the fouls themselves. So
I think the great example of, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I agree. The great example you have is of Jaylen Brown, who's just won the conference finals MVP.
Yep.
When he hit TJ McConnell.
Yep.
In the face. Now, that was a standard foul.
Yeah, that was a standard foul.
A common foul.
So that do you agree that it's a common foul?
No, not at all.
It's not.
To be fair, a lot of people saying his eyes are on the ball. His eyes are on the ball. Now,
he gave him the old rake.
What I noticed was McConnell caught the ball way above his head.
Oh, yeah.
Before Jaylen Brown's arm even goes towards him. So his reaction is so slow that it's like, I'm not convinced.
Sloppy.
And if you look at some of the plays that happened before that, I think that was a retaliation. I think the refs absolutely missed that 100%.
So was it
but
Nixon?
They didn't miss the one on him.
No, of course they didn't.
They didn't miss the one on him. So was it might have been McConnell as well. I don't think it was the same game. I think this was the game before where Brown fouled him at the halfway line. McConnell fouled back and stumbled.
Yeah.
Maybe the way he fell made it look worse than it was.
Yes.
But he's going up. He's now on a fast break. Jaylen Brown goes for the layup and won. And I'm like, look at the referee's position. This is what bothered me by it. The referee is literally right in front of the first incident. No call. He then goes to this layup incident. He is behind Jaylen Brown. So Jaylen Brown's body is in front of his eye line and where that contact is coming in from what I saw on the camera. Again, the one thing I would say is from referees, we cannot comment on about their view. I appreciate that. But from the angle that you see on TV, it's like, hang on, you've called that through his body. And anyone who plays basketball, we know refs do that. They anticipate that foul. And that was huge. That was a huge moment in the game.
That 100%.
And it was just like, it's just a bit irritating. It's like, look, do you guys want Mavs and Celtics in the final? It's just getting a bit irritating.
It did seem certainly that the Celtics were getting
that shouldn't have been a sweep.
Calls.
That shouldn't have been a sweep. And I
think Game 3 was the one. It was the first game in Indiana was that one that you're talking about where you think they should have had more calls, and you're looking at it thinking that's not right. Then you fast forward to look. You can't take away from like Horford with his massive. Was it 7 3-pointers? I think it was in Game 3. Absolutely ridiculous. And he's I think he's 37. So he's like the eldest. Al Horford came on for the Celtics in Game 3.
Yeah.
It's like 7 3-pointers. And you go, you can't argue.
It's great to see. Because he left the Celtics to go to Philly and then came back, didn't he?
Yeah. And you look at him, a lot of people are like, he's washed, he's done. And he comes in the team and he does that elder statesman role. But not just as in, I'm just going to be a big body. He was banging in the threes. And then what I liked was the fact that he was on a run. And it was kind of like an NBA Jam thing where they were like, give him the ball. He's just hit 3 threes in a row. They're like, he doesn't hit 3 threes, give him the ball. So they gave him the ball. Yeah, another one. Get the ball to him again. It's like, just get him the ball because he's obviously feeling it that night. And I love that. I love that they, once their offense reacted to, he's got the heat tonight, give it to him. So they did that really, really well.
Yeah.
But Indiana as a team, I mean, the next few years, I know we've said it before, but
these... Be interesting to see what happens.
These 4 teams, the Indiana, Celtics, Minnesota and Mavs, they've all got young talent and they're all absolutely going to be next few next few years.
So one of my contacts who was at the game, at this game, I forgot. Let me just show you this one. He was saying that he noticed Jaylen Brown was starting. I'm going to use his language, just for historical accuracy. He said he noticed he was starting to get pissed off with McConnell. Yeah.
Yep.
And he said, "Look, I'm convinced JB tried taking that guy out the game." LOL. Everyone was saying about he was going for the ball, and he goes, "Look, I'm a Celtic fan, but I don't believe that."
No,
he that was a flagrant foul. McConnell got under his skin, and he saw an opportunity, and he went, "Right, this is now going to happen," and it was a brutal foul.
Yeah, it was. And there was another one where was it Jalen pushed the player? I can't remember who it was, the Indiana player. It was a dirty foul. There's no way around it. The Indiana player's dirty foul. So Jalen pushed him out of the way. And the Indiana player just shoves him back again. It wasn't Nixon, I can't think it was, but absolutely. It was just the way you see him push him.
Yeah.
It was just like, you just get out, swatting him out of the way. And in the press conference, he's like, "Oh no, we've got nothing but love for each other." And that you go, yeah, I mean, you might know each other because you've all grown up in a similar age group, but there's no love there. This is the playoffs.
But I mean, I like the Celtics. I'm glad they're through. For me, I'm quite on the fence, but I'm glad the Celtics are through. I've always said this. I love the Celtics logo. I think it's a Marmite. You love it or hate it. I love it. I don't think they're a great team. I've been saying, they're not a all-time great team. Are they gonna go and win 3 championships in a row? I don't see that. They're not a dynasty. And then I look at stats like Jason Tatum, one of our main guys, in the last 9 minutes of regulation of game 1, 0 points, 0 assists, 0 for 4 field goals, 0 for 2 3-pointers. I'm like, that isn't a great team when you're looking at stats like that for your best player.
Nope.
What's the other one I got? Another great one I got for you is...
I think that's been a common theme with a lot of the teams, though, to be fair. I think some of the superstars on each of the teams haven't all been performing at their best.
Hey, I like the kick in the face. That was quite funny. But that was an accident. You can see, you looked at him, okay,
What? That wasn't an accident.
I don't think. I think that would have gone as a call.
Hell no.
He didn't go and kick outright. The other one, the Jaylen Brown.
Are you kidding me? No.
Disagreement.
Absolutely. You watch it from this side where you're going onto his face and you can see the player behind them. There's a clip and it slow-mos it and he goes past him like that. And then as he looks past him, twists his body like that, and you go, "Oh, you just over-rotated." He literally over-rotates.
I'll double check. I'll go and have a look.
He over-rotates his body to flick that, because I mean, who jumps like that?
I didn't look that in anywhere near as much detail as the others.
I've watched our kids on your trampoline. I've never seen the kids' legs do that, right? And they're on a damn trampoline. Why are you putting your leg over by someone's head? There's no need to do that.
Well, I've got a great way of finishing this series for you. This is the second conference final sweep in all time.
Is the second
Boston Celtics history.
Oh wow.
And the last time they did it, they won a championship, and that was in 1985-86.
Oh, it was that one, was it? Oh wow.
So there you go. History is currently on the side of the Celtics.
And they get a small flag, don't they, to go for the rafters, because they're East Conference finalists.
I don't know if it's small. I want to say it's the same size, or maybe minute. I've never been in the Garden, so it's minutely smaller. Maybe I don't think it's
not the same, exactly the same.
I think they put it to the side. I think you got the main championship banners down the middle.
When I went there, I vaguely remember them, but I'm just trying to.
And then you've got the the conference ones and the division ones to the sides.
That's right, and then the main.
Look, they're going to have a crap load, aren't they? So
maybe
they should make them smaller.
But
go on in, get this over and done with.
I'm glad the Mavs lost the game last night.
Oh, I'm glad they were 3-0 up and then they lost one.
Obviously I want them to go through. Look, I get nothing from them going through in the sweepstakes. I'm totally out. But I obviously, Mavs are my team. I want them to do well. I think last night was the best thing that could have happened to them for a team going into the finals. They're going to go through. They're going to go be playing Boston. Like you said, there's a few calls that have been gone through, and I've gone, that's going the Mavericks way. That's not going the Wolves way. It does seem that each of these games was predestined. So if Denver went through instead of the Wolves, would the Mavs still be having this same thing? I think no. I think they'd be letting Denver go through because they got the league MVP. Now that they haven't got the league MVP in there anymore, they're like, oh wow, are we going to put Edwards through? No, not yet. He's not ready for that yet. So let's put Mavs through.
Yeah. And I know what you said. I don't think it is as black and white as that.
It's not choreographed. Everyone's a full athlete.
But there's some odd decisions.
I know I'm saying these are refs.
And they're critical decisions.
They're calling it for the play. And it's, when you're saying critical, anyone who hasn't watched the game, go watch them in like the 5 minute, the quick ones that they do on YouTube and stuff. You can see some of the plays at those crucial times, what Paul's saying, where it's not just changing the flow of the game, but suddenly you think, well, hang on a minute. If that was you look back on it later on.
Some of the Mavs ones right in the fourth quarter is like a 1 point game with like a minute left. And it's hang on, that call has just decided the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Or, well, has contributed to it.
No, I would say personally, the first game, Mavs went out there and hit it. The second game, Kyrie did really well. But the problem with Kyrie was that he was a little bit, the rest of the team were a little bit assisted.
But you got to talk about Kyrie. He is
third game
absolutely on fire, isn't he?
Yeah, third game. I think he had Q4. It was something like 14-0. He's had for like losing in the playoffs. His stat. It's like
I wonder if he's living his best life this moment with like basketball. Like, wise, is he like this is as good as it gets? I'm feeling great. He looks like that. And there was this one incident. What was the player? One of the players. Was it last night or game 3? Lost his head. The whole Mavs team, starting 5.
Yeah.
Sorry, the 4 that were on the court grabbed him. Come on, no, get your head in the game. They were like so solid as a team. It was like, wow, they're there.
And they were doing that to Maxi Kleber last night in last night's game. For like a very similar thing. Just try everyone focus and try and get into it. The reason I say I think it was really good for them, and it's good for the NBA. So it's good because the Mavs needed to lose one going into Boston, because I don't want them, as a fan, I don't want them going in there thinking, we've just got a 4-0 sweep, we're invincible. Because it's like, you're going up against Boston, who have got the best record in the whole league this year. And they haven't got a great record against Boston. So you're going to be having the home court disadvantage. So losing one and actually going, hang on, we've got to go and fight to win this one, makes sense. It's also good for the league for Anthony Edwards, because I think he played last night just like a different, he was like, I want to win. And he showed that whole MJ thing of like, no, until that whistle's blown, I'm giving 100% on the court.
That's what you want to see. Because when people go, we're 3-0 down, forget it. So has anyone come back from 3-0? They haven't, have they?
No. So we got the stat there. 156 times it's been 3-0 in the NBA playoffs. Only 4 teams have ever gone to a game 7. They all lost. No one's ever come back from 3-0.
So out of
156 times it's been 0-3.
And 4 times it's got to game 7,
4
and
times
they've still lost.
It's got back to 3-3.
Mark,
4 times.
Someone's got to break the record at some point. You never know.
I just don't think they'll do it. But I love the fact that Edwards said last night, he said to the reporter on the way out, because obviously that was in Dallas as well, that they won. So that will sting for Dallas. They're now going back to Target Center in Minnesota. And Ant said at the end of the press conference, I'll see you guys on game 6, because that's the next time he's back in Dallas. And I love that mentality, because he did the same thing to Denver. I'll see you guys game 7. He did that. But that is
game
great
5
for the
is
game.
big. Just win game 5, and then it's like, right, then take game 6. When game 6 happens, it's like, if that exciting. Goes, it's like, look, who knows then?
I want Dallas to go through, but it's exciting. But I did find something else out, because someone asked a question on some random forum, and I just wanted to just confirm it for anyone else who wasn't sure. If, say, Dallas had secured that game, they don't move the dates. The playoff finals still start at the same time. They don't make it earlier. They're fixed. But I thought it was a valid question, because you go, well, if 2 teams are there, they said no, they let them all rest. until that time starts.
Yeah, you want it. So, I mean, interestingly, the Celtics, if this, let's say it did go to Game 7, Celtics have got a good 8 days, 9 days rest, right?
Yeah, potentially. Now, what I love is there's a little meme going around somewhere, and it's talking about the Celtics having their run through. And they go, because they finished first, their run through was like walking through like these garden fields like there. And then they had a picture of Dallas's, I think it was Dallas or Timberwolves going through.
Oh, God,
and it was a picture of them going through like hell because they had to go through.
Dallas, Clippers.
Yep, first game.
Thunder.
Second game.
Timberwolves.
Third game. And then look at the Timberwolves.
Yeah, Timberwolves, Phoenix, KD.
Yep. And then the Nuggets.
NBA champions. Now Mavs. Yeah, it is.
It's 100%. And, you know, even the Pacers, they had a really tough one. They went through for the Bucks. Then the next one, they went for New York. They had a tough time going through.
Yeah.
So arguably, those teams have had a much harder journey than Boston, you could argue.
But Mark, you're missing one thing here.
Yeah.
One thing. You got to feel for this one guy. One guy. That amazing Edwards dunk we've all seen, yeah?
Yeah.
Pause it as he's going up and look in the crowd. I'll show you this. Look, that guy with a blue hat on, he's on his phone. He's not even looking.
Yeah. Is that the one where it says, what a bad time to get a text message or something? Or something like that.
Look, his hand's right down looking at that. Edwards is doing one of the best plays of the season. How important was that text message when he was driving in?
Do you know what's interesting about the game? We got to wrap up very soon, so we've got another guest coming on, so we haven't got long on this show left. But the one thing about that game that was interesting, Derek Lively II, he wasn't playing because due to an injury, but hopefully he'll be back for the next one. They still haven't got Porzingis in the Celtics at the moment, but it looks like Porzingis may come back for the final for the Celtics. He did really, really well offensively for them. If he comes back in the final, and if it is Dallas and Celtics in the final, that could change everything. Because Lively, even though he's a rookie, has been one of their most outstanding players, purely because he's stepped into the role that they needed him to do. You've got Luka, you've got Kyrie. Like, he's just come straight in and just done the exact role they want. Pump and dump, throw it in there, get the rebounds. Absolutely perfect. So
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think Luka has watched that film with Bo Cruz in it?
Yeah, 100%.
And do you believe in karma?
Yeah.
Luka's watched that film and go, right.
He's got to do the stare.
I've got to help Bo Cruz out. Have you seen the memes going around?
Yeah. Have you seen the pictures of him doing the smile where he did the smile to Devin Booker? Yeah.
I got that one. That's a good one.
So they did that one, but they put that one on the top that he's talking to Edwards. They did the ones below, and it's like Luka smiling. And so the first one is with Devin Booker, or whenever it was. The next one was with that was the year before. Then he was the one with Kawhi or whoever it was. I think it was. They did one of them. Get rid of that. They did another one to, I think, Jokic. Get rid of him. It's like whoever it was. Luka's smiling. So if Luka's smiling the next game, we know it's done. It's over. But that next one, Kyrie's been on such a run, a 14-0 run in the playoffs now. He's going to be fuming. And you've seen how well he's played. I think they're going to get dropped. But we'll see.
We'll see.
But
I think
if we wrap up,
I think quickly, very, very briefly, we got to talk about the WNBA.
We do.
Very, very briefly. I think I'm voicing a lot of people's frustration here.
Yep.
When I would say to all the snowflakes, all the people who are jealous, chill the F out. Like, you guys were playing in a league with all due respect that no one cared about. It was being subsidized by the NBA. You went to a game in Minnesota, Mark. How many people were there?
Not many.
Like, roughly, what are we talking? 500? 1,000?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. It was nothing like an NBA crowd.
And now you've got, like, I think the game where Indiana took on LA, the Sparks versus the Fever.
Yeah.
It was like 19,000.
Yeah.
Which
it was nothing like that. They had
more
part of it's closed.
More than what the Lakers were getting.
Yeah.
And it was like, and everyone is so critical and whinging and bitching. It's like, hang on, I'm not the focus. No. You guys are getting on chartered flights. It's like, you know what? Appreciate the fact that you're now in a league that people are starting to watch. And if
I don't get it.
Caitlin Clark and these rookies, I think the focus is Caitlin Clark.
Which is quite unfair for her,
they're going to drive her out the league, I think. Because, like, every game, it was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing. Whoever they played last night or the night before, one of the players shot a free throw. The first free throw went in. She ran over to Caitlin Clark and was going, yeah, in her face. And it was like,
really?
What are you doing? And then she realised she still had another free throw. Went, I better go and take it. And scored the second free throw. And then went back on D. And it was like, do you realise all that drama and crap that you're focusing on one player because basically you're jealous?
Yeah.
Is just making people go, oh, God.
And there's been quite
Shall we switch off?
Look, there's been a lot of female celebrities as well, in particular, who have actually been moaning and complaining and saying it's all to do with race, background, privilege, all these sort of things. And you go, just...
Who gives a crap?
No
People are watching your league. Maybe in a few years, you'll be getting these huge contracts that everyone's been desperately saying that you should get. You might be able to deserve them because you've actually got people watching the game.
Yeah.
And I just think,
I
genuinely think they could drive her out of the league. I know you talked about getting $5 million to go and do the big three.
Big three, yeah.
I mean, if every game, the entire focus, it's just like, oh man. Yeah. But here you go. Sparks Fever, Crypto Arena, 19,103. Sellout, Sparks record. Capacity for Laker home games, 18,997.
Yeah.
Shut up and appreciate the train that you're now on, that you're riding in. It's just like, oh man, it just says jealousy to me. And I think the bad thing about this is, now look at this. Look at that foul. That is
it's a face.
That's like a punch in the face as someone's gone up. No call.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, right, okay. It's, I don't know. I'm disappointed.
I think it's very disappointing.
With all the things, because it's like, I'm not saying I'm jumping on joining the Caitlin Clark train. I don't give a crap. But what I am jumping on is the rookie train. I think the rookies coming in the league, it's like, wow, what an injection of good players.
I've forgotten a lady who's in the Sparks. And
the tall blonde.
Yeah, I've forgotten her name.
/ model. Long legs.
If you say so. I can't think of her name. Okay, Paul. I think it's Cameron Brink.
Yeah, that's the name. But there's a lot, all the rookies.
She's a rookie who's come in, and the numbers they're putting up comparative to the, I won't say in brackets, already professionals, but it seems...
They're having an impact, yeah.
It seems genuinely they've come in and they're going, normally you have the rookies come in and they have to earn their bread. But all these rookies are coming in and absolutely hammering it. So...
Angel Reese, I really like watching.
She's brilliant.
I love watching her.
She's brilliant.
I'm not watching all the highlights, all the games. I'm just going, let's see how she got on last night.
She's brilliant.
But yeah, I'm leaning towards, I like seeing her highlights. I also like the Sparks.
Yeah, 100%.
At the moment. But
if we're going to end on it.
What I would say is end the drama, please, because Elton, remember, I've said this loads of times. Elton John said, any publicity is good publicity, no matter, as long as they spell your name right.
Well, draft day in the NBA is coming up 26th, 27th of June. They're having it over 2 days now, not just one, because it used to be one.
Really?
Yeah, it used to be one whole thing and it was really boring. So what they used to do now, they're going to do, they have round 1 and round 2. Round 1 will be on one day, round 2 will be on the other day.
Oh, you got to wait. Imagine you're there, you got to wait just a day.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how they're doing it at the moment. I could be wrong, but that's how it is, because the combine was just in Chicago last weekend. So that's where they had all the people doing the jump tests and some trial games.
Well, when LeBron's scored son, 3 points,
yeah,
Trenton Flowers from the Adelaide 36ers scored that game.
Yeah, amazing. And do you know what else? Those guys, not only are you looking at all of those scores there, you mentioned Bronny. He's got offers to play with LA and Phoenix to go train with both of those. All the other teams he rejected. And you go, Oh, I wonder. The person who's going to most likely get the trade is Phoenix, in which case are they going to do some sort of master plan? So we're going to do a whole thing on the draft coming up, but there's definitely going to be some big movements. Finally, before we go, we've got to give a shout out. And I think I'll just pause that down, and we're going to actually do, before that, I am going to cut that. Finally, before we wrap up, we've got to give a round of applause with Bill Walton.
Oh, Big Bill.
Yeah. Big Bill Walton has left us 1952 to 2024 at the age of 71. Let me just read out some of his things. 2-time national champion at UCLA, 72-73. Also scored 44 points on a 21 of 22 shooting in those championship games. He also is a 2-time NBA champion. 1977 with Portland Trail Blazers and 1986 with your beloved Celtics.
I think one of my favourite moments of Bill Walton was actually when he wasn't playing. When Bird stole the ball. He goes, Bird stole the ball! And everyone thinks the game, and it's just him standing on the sideline like he's shocked, and then he's laughing like, oh my God, we just won the game. Remember that bit?
Yep. Well, there's all I say is if you ever want to listen to something really nice, go listen to Rick Carlisle. He gives a little speech about him because Rick played on that team with him in the Celtics. Listen to his speech, and this is after a Pacers game. It's really, really lovely because he tells a story about him, and he's basically the reason that he met his wife. And it's all to do with that. But you listen to that, and he's like, just the positivity from that guy is amazing. So
I think he was also true to himself.
Oh, he was him, 100%. Like, he sat there with a Grateful Dead t-shirt on, and he'd like take his clothes off, sat there and change his shirt and put stuff in.
He did his view, exactly.
Brilliant. So
we should do an episode or something like that.
Absolutely. But tune in to all of our episodes. We've got 114 episodes now, and we're going to keep going. Even though the seasons are wrapping up, we won't be. So stay tuned for more. I have been Mark.
I've been Paul. We've got to go. We've got another interview, and it's supposed to have started 1 minute ago.
Okay, bye.